Charlie assembles different parts for the plane, but he gets distracted by his wife Sarah, who will soon leave for work in London, and offers to go with her. But Charlie is busy because of what refuses. Then he goes to the CIA, where on the computer comes a message from the Inquilian. Charlie has been hanging out with him for a long time, getting classified information. But here is the file that the Inquilian threw off. Could literally turn Charlie's world around. Charlie tried to guess. Who is Inquilian? Obviously, he doesn't answer him, and advises to be careful with this file. What was his surprise? What even is a genius like Charlie? Could not decrypt the contents of the file. He got a call from Sarah with the news that she made it to London, although Charlie already knows it, but he is not up to it now. Charlie is going back to hacking a file. He goes off to a more powerful complex, where he still manages to hack Schiff. There was data inside that the authorities themselves launched drones, and for citizens came up with a bike about a bomb. On the news twist, the news, elimination of elite units of the army. Totally worth more. Part-time boss Charlie. Before you fall asleep, he's trying to get with the wife, but she doesn't pick up the phone, and he sends her a message. And on his return to work, he saw Moore, who was waiting for him, and Brian explains that there was no terrorist attack in Walanda. Alas, Sarah died. Charlie can't believe it. And then Moore turns on the news. On one of the records, you can clearly see Sarah, Charlie rushing home, who clothed dozens of reporters, with whom Charlie has no desire to communicate. The next day, knowing the last file, Charlie can't understand how the terrorists were able to get to the hotel. Where are the hundreds of security cameras? Moore swears that they will figure everything out. This afternoon brought the coffin of Sarah. Among the things was a gift, which Sarah bought for him, which makes Charlie even more upset. He can't sit at home and goes to work, where starts analyzing all the security cameras and compares the entire operation of terrorists. It all started with stealing a car, on which they made their way to the service entrance, not forgetting to get rid of all traces of DNA. Most likely, they had a business meeting with a corporation from Indonesia, but something happened, and they started shooting. To protect yourself from the police, bandits took hostages. Thanks to orders, which they gave away, Charlie made out the voices and found out who are these thugs. Russian Bear, Commando Lawrence, Mercenary Horst, and Officer Gretham. Charlie sees that the authorities, not going, at least somehow react to his investigation, which means they already know everything. Alip says again that they work in this direction. Since Charlie designed the security system himself, he knows how to bring a chip into the building, which downloads all secret data, after which shows Moore his mistakes, because of which there were civilian casualties. If they don't help him, then this data will go to the director of Serua, and if they try to kill him, then this data itself will be sent in 5 hours. Either they'll train him in agent skills, will give fake documents, weapons, and information, where to look for these thugs. When Charlie left, Moore says, "What is Charlie bluffing?" But Caleb doesn't want extra risks. In the meantime, they need to find where does Charlie store the data, and when they find them, Charlie is going to get killed. During training, agents analyze, how could Charlie bring forbidden things into the complex, but don't understand anything. But they see that every time Charlie walked into the bar, and there was a disc in the sounding machine, which had no music on it, just some noise. At this time, Charlie arrives at the training center. He will be helped by Henderson. Charlie even shoot really hard. He only hits the target from very close range, but a variety of bombs for him as toys. Henderson is very surprised by his skill. Closer to the night Henderson came to Charlie. He understands that Charlie is not created to eliminate, but he doesn't see any other way to avenge his wife. Then Henderson gives a gun and orders to aim at it. Charlie is very scary, and he puts the gun away. Agents analyzed the disc and concluded, what is Charlie bluffing? But Charlie has been eavesdropping on them all this time. Moore orders Henderson to catch Charlie. And when he came to him, Charlie already disappeared. Moore guesses that there was a bug in the file and says, what is this treason? Charlie is making it to London. And as soon as his passport was entered into the database, Henderson was sent to catch him. Charlie got out pretty quick on one of Gretchen's band-aids. He traced what house she lives in, and when one of the tenants came out of there, gets inside. Charlie doesn't know how to crack locks, but learns this from a lesson in YouTube. Inside Gretham's apartment was her life schedule, as well as weapons, which he takes to himself. Charlie understands that Gretham will be coming home soon because of what goes up to the floor above. Even has a chance to pull the trigger, but he lacks strength and just runs away to the hotel. Cooling down a bit, he's studying photography. Gretham goes to the same hospital quite often, where allergies are treated, and then Charlie came up with a new plan. He buys flowers and waits until Gretham gets to the hospital, where she undergoes certain procedures. The doctor sees that monitoring is not working well and leaves for other staff. Charlie takes advantage of the moment and walks into the office. He locks the cube, and in the ventilation feeds pollen flower. Charlie promises to help her if she says, "Where is Hars hiding?" Exactly, he eliminated Sarah. Gretham is hard to tell her. Then Charlie opens the door. A fight ensues between them. Charlie manages to lose to Gretham, who tries to hide, but gets hit by a car. At least the phone didn't break. The next day, he gets to Marseille. News reached the CIA that Sin's eliminated, and Brian is interested in more. Who could do this? And he answers someone of his own. Charlie never eliminated other people. Because of what he washes down his emotions, he sees Henderson among the people and instantly gives Daru. Henderson is following Charlie, who decides to lock himself in the toilet. However, there were no windows through which you can escape, and then he decides to approach Henderson, which explains that he found it because of the Greth phone. Charlie shows the timer. There is a small explosion. Charlie runs away under the noise. Henderson wants to check his geolocation, but the phone doesn't work anymore. Charlie has to ask Equalizer for help. After a while, a woman approaches him at the meeting place, who calls herself Equalizer. She tells she became a hacker after her husband died, who worked for the CIA, but he got eliminated, although they pretend what it's an accident. Lawrence is in the arms trade, and Equalizer offers to meet him halfway. Under the pretext of selling weapons, and Bear loves to travel, what is shared on social networks, by which they find her account and place of residence. At this time, Brian asks Moore to stop doing business behind her back. He replies that her predecessor said the same thing. Couple finds Bear, who stayed at a hotel. Where is there a hanging pool? True, and Henderson is already here. Charlie sees a man, which seems familiar to him. Equalizer studies mail and understands. What is this, Agent Cheese? When the bear climbed into the pool, Charlie appears, who asks to say, where is the canvas hiding? If he doesn't cooperate, pool will get destroyed, and once the bear is silent, you have to press the button, after which Charlie gives Daru. Henderson almost caught him, but another agent flies into them. Charlie sees agents fighting each other. A man pulls out a gun and injures Henderson, but he takes away the weapon and comes out victorious. Agents sure that Charlie couldn't think this through alone. And after checking messages, they go out on Equalizer. And since an agent with that name is dead, behind everything is his wife. Late night near the house appears. Armed squad, couple running away down a hidden aisle, but the drone notices them. Soldiers open fire, bullets hurt Equalizer badly. Charlie drags her to the next seat and continues to escape. Yet girl did not survive. Tomorrow he's making an appointment with Lawrence in Romania, and for the CIA, scans his face and hacks cameras in Berlin. What is the CIA thinking about? What he caught on camera. When Lawrence arrives at the meeting place, he sees the drawers and the phone. Arrives challenge. Charlie asking Lawrence to look in the drawers. Stuffed with bombs. If it moves, everything will fly to the air. Charlie asks him to help with finding the Horst. He says that Horst works on Russian territory and receives its goods in the Baltic port. All the right names are in his phone. Charlie picks up her phone and walks away, while behind him everything explodes. Raw understands that they got scammed. The next day, Charlie sends Lawrence code and sees. How does a man get his phone out? He takes some pics, by which he learns the name of the yacht and on what routes she moves. But when he was ready for the last move, he is cut down and he drops his wife's gift. Horst sure that Charlie is one of those who can't eliminate, looking a person in the eyes and to what gives him his gun. Yet Charlie could not shoot. When suddenly the yacht changes course, turns out to be Charlie managed to hack the yacht and change the final stop. They are surrounded by Finnish special forces and taken into custody. After a while Brian announces that the CIA was purged and bad agents were identified. And Charlie collected the plane and flew away where his eyes look. Well, we will be happy with your like. Very soon we will be back by.